Hello my darklings, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming to watch this video today. Last time, I was telling you about how we first met on the deck of the Titanic. It was morning, just woke up, was eating breakfast with you, had a nice little chat. Today, we're going to go on to the second part of the story, and you'll see a little bit deeper about what happened and how we fell in love. I hope you enjoy. Make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and let's get started. Hello babe, how are you? That's good. Yeah, I've just been kind of doing some things around the house today. A little bit of painting. Yeah, I'm working on a new oil painting. You're gonna love it. But I'm not gonna show you until I'm done. What have you been doing today? Sounds like a very interesting day indeed. Did you miss me? I missed you. Painting, yes, that does remind me. That reminds me of the story, yeah, we were talking about earlier about how we met. Yes, I know, like you said before, you love it when I tell this story. So I really do want to keep going because I'm having so much fun reliving this with you. How much I love you. The next part, you know, it's even more special. Yes, our love story is very unique. I do love you very much. Yes, I still am wearing the necklace, but I did put this on. I had to get out of those pajamas, even though I was just having a nice day around the house today. I also walked around the garden a bit. But yes. I still have my necklace on from time on the Titanic. So, what are we doing chit-chatting about nonsense? I guess let's just get back into it. Let's see. Where were we? Ah, that's right. walked back to my room to get dressed to go eat dinner with the captain and the rest of high society. I had not fed in quite a while now. It would have been too risky, obviously, to feed while we were boarding the Titanic, or even to try to feed beforehand would have been a little bit hard. So I was starting to feel a little bit peckish, and the redness under my eyes was a little more noticeable. It was hard to cover up with makeup back then, even face powders, so you could still see a little bit of red under my eyes. Looking at myself in the mirror, noticing how red they looked, I never felt more like a vampire than when my true form started showing through. Obviously, when I'm in my true form, my full form, that's when I feel the most like a vampire, most connected to my vampiric blood. But it's in that little bit of in-between where I'm part vampire, part human looking, that it reminds me of what I'm not anymore. It's that disconnect between losing yourself completely and maintaining some sort of balance. But either way, I had changed for dinner, and I was quite fond of what I was wearing that night, actually. I honestly miss dressing that way for that era, the Edwardian era. Oh, what an era that was. The fashion was more glamorous, the hair, everything, and the way society was very different, and I do miss some of it. But I digress. I left my room. It was on the way to dinner when I heard a strange noise behind me. That noise, it was almost familiar though, although odd. It was like I had heard it before. It was a little melodic and kind of like a lullaby. It was a sound that wasn't quite there. Something that was more supernatural, ethereal, like a sign or an omen of something to come. I had heard it a few times in my past, and I was hearing it again, which could only mean that something fate-like was about to happen. I continued to walk down the halls, thinking of how I would hunt, of how I would feed after dinner. But I was also thinking of you. That chance encounter on the deck, and how I wanted to feed from you, but to prolong the feeding, to sustain the enjoyment and the anticipation of feeding from you. But I must feed from someone else after dinner, so my thoughts drew to how I would do that. I think I would try to find someone who was in the hallway alone, away from big crowds and away from the dining hall. Maybe someone older who had lived a good life. And once I had finished with them, there was no way that I could, well, I mean, I guess I could feed from them, clean them up and glamour them, or I could feed from them until they had no more life force, and then throw them overboard. It was just that easy on a ship, and the thought of that kind of excited me, but I would decide later. I finally reached the dining hall and pushed past the door. The dining hall was magnificent. It was so gorgeous and just as lavish, if not more, than the bedroom cabins were. There was chandeliers and all the tables were full of food and shining, glittering silverware, new plates, and the people in the dining hall were gorgeous and lavish themselves, dressed head to toe in their very finest. I had searched and found the table with the captain and a few other hoi pollois that I had recognized from back in Ireland. I walked to the table, and as I turned the corner, I saw a face that I recognized but did not expect to see. It was your face. You were sitting at the table on the left side of the captain. I took a moment's pause, but quickly regained my composure to act as if I had never known you and I had expected to see you there. If my vampire heart could skip a beat, again it would have. You put a different reaction in my body that I hadn't felt in a long time. But what were you doing there? What were you doing sitting at the table with all of the high society? As I approached the table, every gentleman at the table, the captain and you included, stood up to greet me. The captain pulled out a chair for me next to him. I sat down, and now I was sitting straight across the table from you. My puzzlement grew as I wondered why not only were you sitting there, but you were dressed in the finest clothes. Something a person I thought of your standards and level of income would not have been able to afford. The way you were dressed on the deck, that is. The captain turned to me and asked me if I knew you. I shook my head no, for clearly I did not know who you were. He introduced you as a baron. My astonishment could not have been any higher at that moment. Oh, you're a baron? Oh yes, we did meet earlier, didn't we, on the deck? You were dressed very differently then. You sometimes dress that way to get to see how people would react to you and get to know their true feelings besides the money. I understand. Yes, it was a pleasure meeting you earlier, for sure. My disdain and aggravation for the entire situation began to boil over. You had made me look a complete fool, and I did not know how to keep my temper cool, especially being so very, very hungry. So you're a baron. What do you do for work? Very interesting. And where are you from, exactly? Oh, okay. I understand. It's very interesting to learn all these things about you, honestly. Where am I from? I'm from so many different places, honestly. I've traveled a lot. But my last current home was Ireland. Yes, I think I will miss it, but I am excited to see this new world. America sounds amazing, honestly. Why are you on the Titanic? Okay. Seems simple enough. Business is business, I suppose. Well, I am finished with my dinner here. Thank you so much, Captain. Thank you so much for inviting me in. This ship truly is magnificent. I am so glad to be on it. It was very nice to meet you, Baron. But like I said, I'm finished, I will be taking my leave for the evening. As I stood and left, all of the men stood up. That's one of the things I actually miss about that era. And I left the dining hall. I heard footsteps behind me, and I turned. It was you. You had followed me out of the dining hall. Hello, Baron. Can I help you? You want to apologize for earlier, for deceiving me in any way. That's very generous of you, but you had made me feel like a complete fool. Which is something I detest. Oh, really? I was not trying to make assumptions. Clearly your test worked because you wanted to see how I would react to the way you were dressed, and that's how I reacted. I did not treat you poorly. I did not treat you like you were poor. I did not feel better than you. I was actually extremely concerned that I had offended you, which now I feel like a complete idiot because there was absolutely no reason for me to do that. You are enjoying this, aren't you? You take pleasure in seeing me squirm and torment myself. Well, like I said earlier, I am off to bed. So good evening, Baron. It was so nice to meet you, as I said earlier. Now, if you'll please excuse me. Now, it could have been the fact that I felt like I had really been made a complete fool of, and the other bit that I was so very hungry and starved of blood for so long. But I just walked down that hall completely and utterly fuming at the audacity of you tricking me in such a way and then apologizing and acting like you were this smug, rich guy who had tricked the poor little helpless damsel. Trust me, I was no damsel. And as I walked down that hallway, I knew that the first person I met was going to be the one that I was going to feed on. I had smelled him way before I saw him. There was an elderly man I could smell just down the hallway. Probably in his 60s, early 70s. I had said earlier that if I were to find someone tonight, it would be someone who had lived a long, good life, because I was not quite sure I was going to be able to control myself, or even wanted to control myself at that point. And as I smelled him, I knew that he was going to be my next meal. I knew if I was to not spook the man, I would have to pounce and move as fast as I possibly can to attack him. I quickly looked up. It was you. You had found me feeding. What was I to do? Was I going to have to kill you? I mean, I would have to kill you. I can't just let you walk around knowing what you know. Or if you don't run, maybe I can glamour you. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm at a complete loss for words. I'm completely panicked. I've never had this happen before. How reckless of me. How stupid of me. I cannot believe that I let this happen. I cannot believe that I let this happen. Is that what you think? Oh my god. Okay. You're not scared? I mean, I'm a vampire. There's no denying it. Okay, yes, I'm a vampire. You're seriously not scared? You're not gonna run and tell someone or something? Oh dear, this man is going to wake up. Thank you for your handkerchief to wipe him off with. Yes, good idea. Sorry, you got me flustered. Okay, he's all clean, it would seem. I'm going to, you might not want to watch, I'm going to lick the wound so that it heals. He will be fine. Let me glamour him a minute as well. You are going to wake up in a few minutes, 5 minutes to be exact, and then you're going to walk back to your room and get the most amazing night's sleep you've ever had. You are just coming from the dining hall. You are so happy and full of life. Okay, oh my god, I hear someone coming. Yes, let's get back to my room. You're gonna cover me? Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Okay, let's go. Do you remember that part? Yes, it is quite enthralling. Honestly, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I am so glad that it worked out the way that it did. Did you get another glass of blood? Good. I'm okay right now. I was sipping on one as I was painting earlier, and I'm feeling pretty good. But thank you for offering. Let's see. Alright, so we talked about that. It's so easy to lose my place. Oh, alright. And then, now that we were back in my room, I had excused myself to go clean myself up as you sat down or walked about my room. Not quite sure what you did. But when I came back, you were standing there. So handsome. And you had accepted me for me. You weren't afraid. You didn't get shy. You took care of me, and I appreciate that, and all of my anger and aggravation from earlier had melted away. So, what have you been doing about in my room while I was cleaning up? Oh yes, you noticed the oil paintings. Those are actually mine. I'm actually a painter. Yes, it's very rare for a famous female artist to paint, but I have been painting for a very long time. It's something I quite enjoy doing. Thank you very much, and thank you again for what you did back there. I'm really shocked at the way you reacted. I don't know how to ask this, but why didn't you get scared or freaked out in any way? You've heard stories about vampires your whole life, and you were always fascinated by them and kind of admired them. You always wished they were real. Wow, you are the first human I have ever met to feel that way. Ever. very surprised. Happily surprised, but surprised. Well, thank you again very much, and as you can see, we are very much real. Huh. Yes, I'm okay. You had, kind of stopped me mid-feed, so I'm still rather weak. You want me to feed on you? Oh no, I couldn't. I mean, not after everything you did. You insist? I really do appreciate it. Very much. I will stop myself. I know I have the control. It will be hard, but I will stop. Did you want to sit down? No, you just wanted to... Okay. I can't wait anymore. Much more control that time. As you can see, a lot cleaner. Are you okay? I'm feeling better, but now I'm worried you're not. Why don't you sit down? Go ahead. I will, do you need anything? I can grab you a glass of water. No, you're okay? Okay. It's not usually like this for me. It's very different having, an attachment to, yes. It's been a very long time since I have fed on someone I actually knew, to be honest. Are you sure you're okay? Don't eat anything. Okay. Well, you technically saved me twice tonight. The first time, from getting caught, and, well, now, saving me from passing out. I don't like owing people. It's not usually something that I like to do. But I definitely owe you. Well, you're going to be very sleepy, so I can either take you back to your cabin, or you can sleep here. You can sleep on one of the sofas, or you could take the bed if you'd like, because I am very grateful. I will repay my debt. Like I said, I do owe you, so I will repay it at some point in time. Thank you again. And that's how it happened, isn't it? How I fell in love with an amazing man. Definitely something I was not expecting to happen at all. Your reaction to me and my true self was so priceless that I'm so glad that history turned out the way it did. Not obviously the sinking and everything, but that I was to be with you. And I am yours always, and you are mine for always and forever. But we're going to talk about how that happened next time, the forever part at least. But I think this is a good place to stop for now. It just made me feel all happy and warm on the inside, which is not easy for a vampire. Yes, well, I believe I will go, I don't know, do something. I love having this day off. You It's been nice not having to work. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. You know what, babe? Do you want to go watch a movie? Let's watch one of your favorites. That one? Okay, sounds good.